I'm Representative David Bates. I'm seeking re-election as one of the 13 state representatives who represent Windham and Salem. I'm running again because I want to help reverse the perilous course that our state has embarked upon. 2 years ago, I ran for office because I was concerned about the direction that the legislature was taking our state. I maintain that concern now more than ever because of the ominous fiscal crisis that looms ahead in the next biennium. We will be facing a budget shortfall of $750 million or more, depending on what happens in the economy in the coming months. We cannot continue mortgaging our future with deficit spending like the out-of-control federal government does. The ballooning of the state budget in the past 4 years from $9.3 to $11.5 billion was completely unnecessary, especially during a time of recession. Instead of inflating the budget by 24%, we should have trimmed it back the way most other states did during the same period of time. Now, anyone can point fingers and criticize, and I could exhaust all of my allotted time just listing the litany of bad policy decisions recently acted, like the LLC tax and the campground tax and over 100 other new or increased taxes and fees, or the radical social agenda that has been foisted upon us. But instead, I want to give you a taste of some of the solutions I will pursue if re-elected in order to accomplish the obvious need to get our fiscal house in order. Instead of putting the energy and focus on how to extract money from individual taxpayers and businesses, we will concentrate on how to make our government more efficient and accountable. We need to consolidate agencies and departments within those agencies where efforts are duplicated by other departments or other agencies within the state. In addition to consolidation, we should privatize government functions where feasible, where we can realize cost reductions while maintaining equal or superior services. We should change the manner by which the state budget is developed. Last year we had a bill in the House that narrowly failed by only 14 votes. That bill would have required state agencies to submit 2 budget proposals. In addition to their normal maintenance budget, the commissioners would have to provide a truly prioritized budget with an overall 5% reduction. That way, each commissioner would have to genuinely sort out the priorities of the agency that he or she is responsible for overseeing. This will give the governor and the Finance Committee the information they need to make responsible decisions about spending reductions, because potential cuts will have already been identified early in the budget process. I also want to see the state's checkbook put online so that anybody can see where each one of your hard-earned tax dollars is spent. In the area of health care, there are a number of things that we can do that will actually bring down the cost of medical insurance. As much as lawyers may object to it, we need tort reform. In Texas, they passed liability caps and malpractice premiums immediately dropped by 40%. If we did that here in New Hampshire, those savings would help lower the cost of your medical services and your health insurance premiums. We need to remove the restrictions that require people to only purchase health insurance from companies within the state. People should be free to shop for the best deals that they can find from any insurance company, regardless of where they are located. We also need to allow insurance companies to offer alternative policies without the plethora of government-mandated coverage that has driven up the cost of premiums out of control. People should be free to pick the coverage they choose to purchase in the same way you do with the insurance for your automobile or home. I will oppose any effort to implement nationalized health care here in New Hampshire. And on education, I'm not a fan of the Republicans' No Child Left Behind or the Democrats' Race to the Top programs. I believe decisions about education should be made at the local level, free from federal mandates. Here in New Hampshire, we need to revisit the definition of adequacy. As currently described in the 2008 law, it is going to add an additional $160 million to the cost of next year's budget. We also need to address the whole education funding scheme in our state. We should pass a constitutional amendment that will clarify the legislature's authority to allocate education funding, instead of it being determined by the courts as a result of lawsuits. If you choose to re-elect me, I will support these and other efforts to make New Hampshire a business-friendly, a family-friendly, and a freedom-friendly state once again. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance gave me an A grade in each year for my voting record. And of the entire 400-member legislature, there was only one person who voted on every bill, as I did, that received a higher score than me from the House Republican Alliance for our voting record. I've also been endorsed by the Republican Liberty Caucus for state representative in this district, and I hope you will decide to endorse me and give me one of your votes on September 14th. Thank you.